I knew it. This is an alien, and you guys are from some government agency trying to keep it under wraps.
I can't take it anymore!
You've got troubles, Mac.
Did you know that the first Matrix was designed to be a perfect human world, where none suffered, where everyone would be happy? And it was a disaster. No one would accept the program. Entire crops were lost. Some believed that we lacked the programming language to describe your perfect world, but I believe that as a species, human beings define their reality through misery and suffering. So the perfect world was a dream that your primitive cerebrum kept trying to wake up from. Which is why the Matrix was redesigned to this, the peak of your civilization.
So this is how liberty dies, with thunderous applause.
Sharing the truth one fact at a time. This is the Free America Radio Network.
Hey, folks, this is the Views Expressed live right here on the Free America Radio Network for the 7th of July, 2014. Yes, it's Monday again, folks. Monday. I gotta tell you, I'm like Garfield. I hate Mondays. Doesn't really matter. Because all the days are, they're just going right into one another, aren't they? I made a statement earlier. I put up a podcast, Wayne S. Pierce Show podcast. There's a statement there and also on my Facebook page, which I take very seriously. Although I'm leaving a lot out of that statement, there's a lot there to pay attention to. This whole thing with the border, with what's happening there. You can go two ways with this. You can either look at it as a humanitarian thing and say, well, if these children or these adults are sick, and well, let's take care of them and then send them home. Or you can look at it another way, which I'm sure most do. Let's close the border so we won't have these people coming over here spreading their diseases. If, of course, they're that sick. So there's two ways of looking at this. My question is, which way do you want to look at this? Well, the bottom line is, they're here. We have to stop the influx of illegal aliens coming over here. The only way to do that is to close the border. That's it. Period. End of sentence. Close the border. Enough said. And I know a lot of people who feel the same way. But I also know that, as I just recorded earlier before the show, a 2-minute commentary, I know for a fact that there are people with hearts out there that will help humanity regardless of color. The assistance we give humanity and another human being far outweighs and trumps their color. So think about that one, folks. It's kind of a kick in the face, isn't it? I want the borders closed, period, done. Not only because of the fact that economically we can't handle any more immigrants. That's just the way it is. But the left, they don't really give a crap. They never have and they never will. They look at us patriots as being the scourge of America, of their version of America. So we have to take a stand and defend what we have. And if we have to get up in their face and shove the Constitution prior to 1871 down their throat, we'll do that. We make no bones about the fact that we're patriots and we love our liberty, freedom, security, and peace in this country. And if they're there to upset it, we're not going to allow that to happen, are we? I'll be back right after this. This is Reverend Wayne S. Pierce from the Free America Radio Network. Prepare yourself for the unexpected. Have an emergency food supply available when you need it. You never know when the next power outage or natural disaster will happen. Are you prepared when it does? Go to Free America Radio Network website and click on the Store tab and get your emergency food supply now. Go to freeamericaradio.us. A natural disaster could happen at any time. Be prepared. Go to freeamericaradio.us and click on the Store tab to get your emergency food supply today. That's freeamericaradio.us and click on the Store tab and prepare in case something happens. Listen to the Diana and Wayne's Grab Bag Potpourri Talk Show, Friday nights at 8 p.m. Pacific, 11 p.m. Eastern, right here on Spreaker.com.
Sharing the truth one fact at a time. This is the Free America Radio Network.
Hey folks, this is the Free America Radio Network. This is the Views Expressed Live right here. I am your host, Reverend Wayne S. Pierce, for this Monday, the 7th of July, 2014. How you doing, folks? You can email me at freeamericaradio@usa.com, freeamericaradio@usa.com. You got any questions? Please ask. No question is off limits. If I don't know, I'll tell you I don't know. Even if you disagree with me, I'm okay with that. Over the weekend, I was in a conversation, and it got to the point where I was told that when people disagree with me, I get defensive. Duh. Wouldn't you if someone, got up in your face and, started contradicting everything you said? It's that simple, folks. Yeah, I get defensive. Wouldn't you? And this country is so far down the hole, so far into, well, let's put it this way, folks. I was going to use the street vernacular for where I see this country, but let's just put it this way. Somebody stuck it in the toilet and pushed the handle. Let's put it that way. Now, can we save our republic? Yes. By the way, go back, look at actual history. We are not a democracy. We are a constitutionally represented republic. Okay? Get over your fascist self. We didn't go from a constitutionally founded and, principally based republic to a democratic socialist country. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, we did. After 1871, when the corporations took over and decided, hey, there's money in politics. We create lobbyists and special interest groups. We'll get whatever we want. And they did. Can you say NAFTA and GATT? Let me tell you what the downside is, first of all, to this whole issue of the border in Marietta, California, where Pete Santilli is from the Guerrilla Media Network. He's been down there, and he's been doing a whole lot. And I got to tell you something. It is a win for the protesters and for freedom of America, because 3 times, just reported today, 3 times the bus full of immigrants that were flown in on your tax dollars on commercial flights has been turned around. 3 times. I haven't heard any of that happening in New Mexico or Arizona or southern Texas. I wonder why. I have heard that the Texas Rangers, not the baseball team, but the actual Texas Rangers, are going to the border. I figure if the Border Patrol isn't doing their job, it's time for we the people to take up arms and go take care of our border. I live in the Silver State. I live in the biggest little city in the world, Reno, Nevada. Last statistics that I saw, which was from the summer of last year, we have 25% of the population of Nevada is immigrants. In other words, I don't know, I don't have any verification of whether or not they're here on visa, work visas, illegal, I don't know. But I do know that when I checked the statistics on what the percentage was of immigrants in Nevada, it was about 25%. Now what's going to happen? What's going to happen, folks, is as the feds are doing now, they're arming up. They're taking these Department of Homeland Security buses and they're putting roadblocks in the way of the protesters so that these buses full of these Guatemalan and South American immigrants can get here, so that the Dems, the Democrats, the progressives, I'm going to call them for what they are, the Marxists in the White House get the vote. People complain about the Republicans. Oh, by the way, they want open borders too. Now, why do I say that? Well, first of all, let me make my point. The federal government, as far as I am concerned from my own perspective, with my own eyes, from the information that I have, Washington, D.C., and President Obama and those goons that he has around him who are well-known Muslim Brotherhood people, and the amnesty people who want open borders, have literally declared war on the American people. Now, I could be wrong in that, in my assessment. I could be wrong in how I interpret what I see. But chances are I'm not. You're the one that's going to have to go out and see this stuff for yourself. Look at it. Examine it. Because I'll tell you something, folks. To be honest with you, I ain't putting up with the crap no more. I'm not. I'm not doing it. If you want to come, I don't care where you live. You can live in Mexico, in South America. You can live in Canada. You can live in Iraq. You can live anywhere in the freaking world. If you want to come be an American citizen, you better go to the consulate, the embassy, the immigration department there, and you do it the right way. If you cannot do that and just jump ship or jump the border, we're going to send your ass right back where you came from. Oh, that's racist. No, it's not. It's realistic. How can you say I'm racist when I want to protect my country? Huh? How can you say that? You can't. How can you look at yourself in the mirror and say that the influx of Guatemalan, South American, Mexican immigrants is going to be good for America? How can you look yourself in the mirror and say that? This whole issue with the southern border is coming and is at, I believe, right now on the 7th of July, 2014, at a head. We've got to stop what's going on. We've got to stop it. We've got to stop this whole thing. Paranormal Phil is in the Spreaker chat, so if you want to come chat with me, jump on over to the Spreaker side of things, Spreaker.com, look for Free America Radio Network, jump in the chat and say hello. I don't bite. I've had my shots. Don't worry about that. He says ABC7 reported earlier today that the buses that were supposed to go to the Marietta have not arrived today and were actually headed south on the 5 freeway to San Diego. Yes. There's another processing facility there. We have to stop all of it. And I'll tell you why. Like I said before, I mean, you can go one way or another on this. They're humans that need help, that if they're sick, we need to take care of them and send them home, not give them amnesty. Or the other side of that coin is close the damn border so these people won't come over here spreading their diseases if they have them. Okay? Which one would you like? Because that's up to you, folks. I'm only one man here. I'm only one person who deals with patriotism and freedom and wants to have a free nation where people live freely. I don't give a crap if you're Asian, Mexican, black or white or European. It doesn't matter to me your color, race, or background. You want to be a success in America, you do it the right way. You come here legally and do it. And if your parents were here legally, they did all the right things, they got here legally, and you're born here, there you go. You're an American. But if your parents are illegal, we got to talk about that one. Okay? Now, somebody once gave me the argument of we're all immigrants. Our grandparents or our parents, or whatever, came here at some point and became American citizens. You know what, myself personally, you may think differently, and that's fine, but my personal perspective is this. Citizenship, back then, okay, back before the Declaration of Independence, citizenship was really a non-issue at that point. Was it not? We had a tyrannical government trying to, overtake, be the overlord, if you will, of 13 colonies. They went up yours, King George, and fought for freedom and won. So I give them all the applause for that. But in the 20th century, the 19th and 20th century, do you know what I myself personally consider a citizen? Someone that comes to this country the right way. Back then it was Ellis Island. They came over, they became citizens. I know some of my relatives came into Newfoundland and came into Ottawa, Canada, came through there. They're citizens. They came down. My great-grandfather came into Michigan. My grandfather was born in Michigan. They did the right thing. You do the right thing for the best result. You don't dig tunnels under a border or build big, like ramps over a fence to get over into this country. Yeah, you heard about that big ramp built over a fence. They, Border Patrol and ATF and whoever else caught this big, huge, like 3/4 ton or 1 ton pickup with about $50,000 worth of marijuana in the back. This was a couple of years ago. Now, Here's an argument that I hear all the time. Well, hell, the illegal immigrants are here. We might as well just, give them everything they want. Give them amnesty. They came from destroyed countries. Why not? What part of illegal don't you understand? Well, who made it illegal? Is that kind of like the question of if a tree falls in the forest and no one is around to hear it, does it make a noise? Is that the same type of question? Because, the answer is yes, by the way. And so I know people that have said, well, just, they're here. We might as well just do what we have to do. No. You don't get the overall picture and the ramifications of declaring amnesty like Ronald Reagan did in 1986. Yeah, Ronald Reagan. Yeah, one of the presidents that people say was one of the best that we had. No. In Hollywood, some of the information that has come out of Hollywood and out of some other information in the, let's just say in the netherworld, Ronald Reagan, prior to running for any type of political office, declared himself, and you can look this up yourself, he declared himself a socialist. That was kind of an eye-opener for me when I found that out. He was governor of California. He ran for president. Now, you have to connect the dots and you have to see the whole picture. Put the puzzle pieces together to see the whole picture. Does the puzzle that you just put together match the picture on the top of the box? If it doesn't, you got a problem. Now, the other thought was, here we are dealing with this border crisis, and people are saying, well, and I say this too, connect the dots, right? Follow the money. Some people are going to say, well, yeah, you're going to connect dots that don't even exist. Yeah, and you're a dumbass. Go away. I have liberal friends. Believe me, I have conservative friends. I have Democrat friends. I have Republican friends. Let me tell you something. I have never seen a whole bunch of people in one room be so stupid in my life. Oh, wait. Yes, I have. It's called Washington, D.C. But some of my friends look at me and say, your answers to things, with the border crisis, and, back then, this was like 17, 18 years ago, we would talk about other issues that came up that, in that time as well. That was when Bill Clinton was president. And, I just flat out told people how I felt, and they'd look at me going, my God, you're just, well, Here's why they would criticize me for what I'd say. Because I wasn't saying it their way. I wasn't fitting into their little cookie cutter world of their little preconceived paradigm. I'm a free thinker, far beyond anybody else's limitations. I don't think a Democratic or liberal way. I don't think a conservative or a Republican way. I think my way, because I believe following my conscience is the best. What about you? And this whole thing with Hobby Lobby last week. I gave, in previous episodes, I gave you my take on that. But no, they're not trying to push religion on any woman. And no, it's not about women's rights. Sorry. Get those two out. Try again, far-left liberal Marxist. You freaking women that think it's all about you, and everything should be all about you. You are the dumbest people on the face of the frickin' planet. Do you know that? You far-left liberal goons that have absolutely no brains whatsoever to figure anything out. It's a wonder that you can even tie your damn shoes. Okay? What do? Wear flip-flops to the beach with socks on? Oh, no, that's a Republican progressive. I'm sorry. Oh, Muffy, we have to go and pick up the poodle from the dog groomers. You people make me freaking sick. I want to throw up on your Armani suit. You think you're so high, high and mighty and all this, No, you people are pathetic. Hey, wait a minute. Am I leaving someone out? Oh, yes. The right-wing progressives. You people think that it's, if we just, manufacture certain things politically, then the Democrats will kind of sway themselves in our direction. What is it? You think you're the center of the universe? You're about as dumb as a box of rocks yourself. I'm nonpartisan, by the way, so I can criticize both sides because I've been there. I did not register to vote until I was 29 years old. You know why? Because I knew when I was 16, 17 years old that parties, whatever party you were with, you were just not getting it. Now, I registered because I had to register to vote, and I didn't know, I had no clue you could register nonpartisan. I was 29. What did I know? That was one of the things I didn't know. So I registered. My mom and dad are hardcore Democrats. I registered Democrat. 4 years later, I registered again as a Republican. 4 years after that, I registered as nonpartisan. Been that ever since. Why? Because I researched both parties. The Democratic Party was started by KKK or by a member of the KKK. You don't believe me? Go look it up. It's out there in history. Go slip through the interwebs and find that information yourself. What was considered in the 17 and 1800s as liberal or liberalism had been changed after 1871 with the Act of 1871. Liberal then changed to giving away the store and making someone else pay for it. Okay? Conservatism back in the 17 and 1800s was we've only got so much and we can only spend so much. We only take in so much, we can only spend. That's what true conservatism is. Nowadays it's going, go to the store, let people get it, bring it up to the counter, and let somebody else pay for it. Huh. Kind of sound familiar? I don't know. Although that's my view, that's my opinion, that's my perspective, okay? I mean, what can I say? When I come back from the bottom of the hour break, I want people to go to, if you would please, thank you, go to Free America Radio on Facebook, check things out. If you're not able to, just wait till you get to your, computer or your laptop or whatever and check it out. freeamericaradio.us. You can look it up on, if you have an iPhone or Android, you can look it up there as well. It'll come up and check things out, man. I'll tell you what. We got a mess at the border, and we have to deal with it. There's a lot of things we have to deal with because Edward Snowden said we had to because he's going to release a whole bunch of stuff through Glenn Greenwald. So, yeah. So, Edward Snowden, he's an FBI thing, and he's getting paid, and I think all this... No, shut up. You got no clue what you're talking about. Just keep your trap shut because, I don't know. Folks, it's been a Monday, I'm telling you, after the stuff I've seen before the show. Holy crap. So anyway, you can email me. Even if you disagree with me, you can email me. freeamericaradio@usa.com. freeamericaradio@usa.com. That's the email address. The website is freeamericaradio.us. We're here Monday through Friday, 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern, right here on the Free America Radio Network.
If
If you're into liberty and libertarian values, tune in to The Angel Clark Show, Monday through Friday, 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern, at radiofreedom.us.
No elitist drivel, no media spin. Logic over emotion, fact over fiction. The home of independent conservative thought. The Conservative Voice with your host, Jeff Wagner, only on the Conservative Radio Network.
Around the planet on the World Wide Web.
The storm is on the horizon. The system of government that we currently have in this country is collapsing. We are on the brink of total disaster as a nation, a people, and a planet. Who or what can save us? Listen to The Views Expressed live, Monday through Friday, 4 to 6 p.m. Pacific, at freeamericaradio.us. Listen to Kicking the Capstone with Bob Brutus immediately following The Views Expressed live.
Putting the local back into radio.
Sharing the truth one fact at a time. This is the Free America Radio Network.
Hey, folks, how you doing? Yeah, it helps to turn on the mic. Told you, it's a Monday, man. I'm telling you. Free America Radio on Facebook, freeamericaradio.us is the website. Please, check it out, man. If you want to sponsor the show, you can. That would be awesome. If you want to donate to Free America Radio Network and help us get to the next level, please do. That's also awesome. How you can help, you can sponsor the show. Go to freeamericaradio.us. Go to the sponsors page. Check that out as well. If you're interested, email me at freeamericaradio@usa.com. That's freeamericaradio@usa.com. The other way you can help is if you're on freeamericaradio.us, go to the top of the page, and at the top of the page, there's emergency food supply. Click on that. Get as much as you need. Okay? And that also helps out Free America Radio Network, and that helps us get to the next level. So if you want to see this network grow, you can be a part of that. That would be awesome. Yes. So thank you very much. Appreciate that. And Paranormal Phil says, depending on how much I make tomorrow night, depending, that he might make a trip down to Marietta and report on what's going on down there. That would be awesome. Yes, Phil, that would be fantastic. That would be just absolutely fantastic. Let me know if you can. If not, hey, no big deal. So anyway, what else? Free America Radio on Facebook, if you would, please. Thank you. Appreciate that. CNSnews.com. Liberals' stomachs will churn after hearing what this powerful female CEO said about the war on women. Shall we? Shall we take a gander at this? Yes. Hello, Muffy. Former Hewlett-Packard CEO Carly Fiorina took direct aim at the often invoked liberal talking point that the conservatives are waging a war on women. Excuse me. In response to a panel question on CNN Sunday, Fiorina bluntly stated, and I quote, "A lot of women, me included, are sick of the quote-unquote war on women," unquote. She went on to call it shameless, baseless propaganda. There's no fact to it. After the Supreme Court decided that closely held Christian companies could not be forced to pay for 4 of 20 forms of contraception, the talking point gained new steam. Some protesters went so far as to say women could die as a result of that decision. Fiorina smacked down these claims, literally using fortune cookie wisdom, quote unquote. Strong and bitter words indicate a weak cause, and that's exactly right. There you go. There you go, folks. There you go. It is not a war on women. It is not a religious push on other people and all this. That it's bullcrap, okay? All the liberal talking points are being blown out of the water. Do you know why? Because most liberals are completely and totally wrong, and their claims are totally baseless. Okay? This is the way it is. Now, I feel that it's important that we know what the women believe in this situation, not only in that decision that the Supreme Court, came down with, but also about the border issue, we need to know. And I really believe that there should be more women with shows like this. Do you agree or disagree? If you're in the chat room, say hi. I get notifications that I get, the listeners to the live show, 6, 8, 10, 12 people. But 1 or 2 only show up in the chat room. Hey, folks, drop in the chat room, say hi. I'd like to know you're there. So most women that I know of always like to keep stuff to themselves. Do you know why? It's real simple. They want to bash men. Most liberal women that I know, not all of them, but most of them that I know, want to keep things to themselves. And they want to bash men for anything that men say. I don't give a crap if it's about the color of their own shoes. Doesn't matter. Women are going to attack men no matter what. Okay? These are liberal women. Okay? But most, conservative women don't do that. Although they do have a bit of, let's just say, that little snarkiness when it comes to men. But I don't know too many nonpartisan women who speak from the heart as I do. So if there are women out there like that, please let me know. I would love to get them on the show. And if you're one of those women out there like that, Spreaker.com has a budget that fits your plan. You can do a show and give us your view on things. So if you want to be a guest on the show, that's awesome. Hey, give you a virtual high five on that one. Email me, freeamericaradio@usa.com. freeamericaradio@usa.com. Go to Free America Radio on Facebook. Video.lauraingram.com. Breitbart's Kolkowski debunks birthright citizenship. Oh, I put that up there twice. That's the other thing about immigration. It's the other thing about immigration. It's like, well, if a pregnant woman, I'm just going to use this as an example, okay? If a pregnant woman out of Mexico crosses the border, has a baby here, that baby's an American citizen. Well, guess what? That's been debunked many, 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 many times. No, it is not. Take care of the mom, take care of the baby, take care of it, and then get, immigration in there and send them home. That's how it should be. And that's how it was for many years until Bill Clinton and George Bush and Barack Obama. Now, here's the other side of that coin. Again, let me go back to this border issue. If it's a humanitarian thing, don't you think that it would be wise to take care of these sick people and then once they're better and well to send them back home? I'm just asking a question. Or do you think that it's better to just, know that they're coming and close the border? Aha. As Shakespeare wrote in Hamlet, aye, there's the rub. Since December and February of this year, the Department of Homeland Security has bought those buses that you see in the news. Why did they buy those buses? How long could it take to put those buses together? Paint them, letter them, and all that. How long? Okay? They had this planned. I would even go as far as saying since President Obama went to Mexico to talk to Nieto. Okay? I really believe that it started then. And here's, again, my take on this. When you have a president that is purposely violating every single constitutional law there is and ruling by decree, I say it that way because kings used to and dictators used to. They still do, don't they? When you have someone doing that and violating our constitutional rights, don't you think that there is a problem? He went to Mexico, talked to, Nieto, president of Mexico, and said, here's what we'll do. Did he not go to South America recently? Like in the last 6 months or so? Hello? Planned it all out. Hello? Taxpayer money putting these illegals on planes and flying them over. Hello? Your money, folks, are allowing this to happen. Your tax dollars are allowing this to happen. The border is open. The police in Marietta threw their hands up. We now live in a dictatorship. Because when you look back in history and you look at Mussolini, you look at Hitler, you look at all those folks, what was the first thing that these leaders did? They undermined the people's freedoms incrementally and sometimes blatantly outright in short succession and blew through a whole bunch of laws that were set up to protect the people and implemented a dictatorship. Check out the former president of Venezuela prior to Hugo Chavez. And then check out the late Hugo Chavez. The first thing he did, and didn't President Obama visit him as well? The first thing that Chavez did was nationalize the gas company, nationalize health care, nationalize all these other things, commerce, the whole 9 yards. And guess what? Don't believe me? Go check it out. Remember going to the local 7-Eleven down the street and seeing a gas pump saying Citco on it? That was gas out of Venezuela. Did you notice what happened after? After Chavez nationalized the gas, nationalized all petroleum companies? Did you see what happened? 6 months to a year later, you didn't see those gas pumps, did you? He nationalized all the gas companies, took all the money for himself, and made himself a handsome profit. Now, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Go check it out yourself and let me know. No big deal. Right? I'm not going to get defensive. Not unless you have an attitude and throw the crap up in my face and try to tell me I'm wrong and try to argue with me, then, 2 seconds of my time are worth a hell of a lot more than having you in my face. So anyway, go check it out. Seriously. Go check it out. Now, when you look at this whole regime that we have in the United States, you will see a problem. You will see a huge, massive problem, and it has nothing to do with ideology. Okay? Has nothing to do with ideology. Has everything to do with corporate intervention, corporate subjugation of people, including the members of Congress. Oh, speaking of which, these facilities that are around to process these illegals, did you know that no member of Congress, well, I shouldn't say no member, some members of Congress cannot get into these facilities? That the guards at the gate are going, no, sir, we can't let you in. No, ma'am, we can't let you in. But I'm a member of Congress. Yeah, we have orders not to let you in. If I was a member of Congress, I would immediately have that gate guard arrested, thrown to the ground, and handcuffed and taken away. Then I would go into that facility to see what's going on. That's just me, though. Maybe that's too extreme to get to the truth. But remember, it's not about ideology. And it's not about, I don't even think it's about who we are as individuals. It's about, I said it before, corporate cronyism. That's what it's about. What do they use? They use the one thing or several things that people gravitate to. But they use one thing that controls all of that. No matter who you are, where you are, whatever. And it's been done before in history. Go look back in history. The king usually, not always, controlled the church. And the church always controlled the king. Okay? Think about that one as you look at this regime. I got a picture up on Free America Radio on Facebook. It says, Islam is a religion of peace if you ignore the whole suicide bombing, burning people alive, beheading, rape, child marriage, and clitoroctomy or thing, Oh, we're going to turn the... I forgot to turn down my volume on my phone. Anyway, you scroll on down a little more, you'll see something from Infowars.com. Dallas-Fort Worth City plans heavy police presence to discourage border protests. Dallas-Fort Worth City plans heavy police presence to discourage border protests. Am I seeing that right? Judge promises to arrest protesters in engaging in civil disobedience. What? Government officials told a CBS affiliate they will not tolerate civil disobedience at a school in Grand Prairie when illegal immigrants arrive there later this month. What? Dallas County Judge Clay Jenkins went door to door in a neighborhood surrounding the Lamar Alternatives Education Center and told residents police planned an extensive presence to discourage protests. Hold on, folks. Hold on. Logic tells me 1 + 1 is 2. Am I correct? For them to even think about this, or even plan this, or even or to implement this, they would have had it planned, which means they would have known about this beforehand. Or am I wrong? Residents told CBS 11 News they are disturbed by the prospect of protests like the one at the Marietta Border Patrol Station in California. Quote, I live right here, so I don't want to look out the back window and see people protesting every day, unquote, said Nathan Smith, who lives adjacent to the school. Jenkins reassured residents the city will not tolerate a similar situation to the one in California where demonstrators blocked Homeland Security buses and demanded the federal government secure the border. Quote, as long as they make their statement in keeping with the law, unquote, Jenkins said. Quote, this is America and everybody is entitled to an opinion. If they break the law or impede the care of these children, then we'll enforce the law, unquote. On Sunday, Texas Governor Rick Perry told ABC News the influx of children from Honduras, Guatemala, and El Salvador is part of a, quote, ulterior motive, unquote, by the Obama administration. Quote, I have to believe that when you do not respond in any way, that you are either inept or you have an ulterior motive of which you are functioning from, unquote, Perry said. Perry said earlier today on Fox News that the Obama administration might, quote, might be, quote, in on this somehow, unquote, and is facilitating the border crossing of illegal immigrants. Let me go back here and say this. This judge, this Dallas County Judge Clay Jenkins, said, as long as they make their statement in keeping with the law, this is America, everybody is entitled to an opinion. If they break the law and impede the care of these children, then we'll enforce the law, unquote. Let me tell you this. They're pulling out all the stops. They know for a fact that a number of people, if not numbered in the thousands, will try to stop the buses in Texas. They know this. They're using bits and pieces to try to control the situation. Well, we just can't have them come over here, so, they can protest all they want. But if they impede, which means stop, the process, as Judge Jenkins says here, impede the care of these children, in other words, stop the buses, then these people will be arrested. So you see the slippery slope this has caused. You see the very nature of the far-left liberal morons trying to use every bit of scrap on their plate to feed their stupid egos and to suppress the freedoms of everyone else. It's that bad, folks. We can't use, this is a liberal thought I'm going to say here. Liberals cannot use the law to benefit them because what they are doing is against the law. And they're going to manipulate every little string and sentence and syntax and period and punctuation to get their way. But they're violating the law. They know this. And by the way, the Republicans do the same thing if they're Republican progressives. Okay? So here we are, we the people, standing up, holding them accountable, and saying, wait. The law states, and we recite the law to the liberals, and they sit there going, well, that's not what it means. It really means that, and they're going to manipulate it again. Folks, the bottom line is this. Illegal immigrants are illegal. They're breaking the law, and they need to be processed out of this country, period. That's it. If they're sick, we will help them get back on their feet. But as far as that is concerned, we're putting them on a bus or a plane and sending them home. We don't want them here. Why? What part of 18 or 20 or 30 or $70 trillion in debt do you not understand? Go to usdebtclock.org and see for yourself. We just cannot economically handle any more influx of illegal aliens. Yes, illegal aliens. Now, how do we, the people, stop all this? Well, this judge is saying that he's going to arrest people for civil disobedience? What? He should be thrown off the bench immediately for violating the First Amendment. I don't care who he is. I don't care. He violated and is implying, or no, he's not implying, he's literally stating that law enforcement has a right, has an order to violate people's First Amendment. Freedom of expression, freedom of speech, yada, yada, yada. You know that. This guy ought to be thrown off the bench. Anybody, yeah. Let me do this. I got a thought. Call the Dallas County, call Dallas County Courthouse down there. And find out where this guy is and call him and tell him he better reverse that decision. Because the more that he's going to push the people's buttons, guess what? They're not going to like it, and they're going to push back. Okay? I might be overstating it, but even if 5 people showed up at a protest outside of that courthouse, things might change. But who knows? We need 50 or 500 or 5,000. We need them on the street. This can't, no. Having a judge say, that he's going to, we don't want any civil disobedience, which is our right to do, Judge Jenkins. So shut the hell up and get off the bench because you're worthless. I pledge that I will defend the Constitution against enemies, foreign and domestic. Yeah, you did that, Judge, and now you're violating people's rights? Get the hell out. That or we'll have you arrested. One of the two. It's just... I don't know, folks. I mean, I seriously am at a point where I'm at a point where I don't even know where... I don't even know why Washington, D.C. would ever do what they do. It's just, it isn't logical to me. And I know that they thrown out common sense long ago out of Washington, D.C., so I know, that they're not working with that. I don't know, folks. I mean, we can do whatever we need to do, okay? Hey, Phil. Have a good one. He's leaving. He's got things to do. But I got to tell you, it's going to be you getting up off of your duff and going out and making things happen. Okay? I'll be back right after this. Want to know what's happening all around us? You do? Great! Come check out the Diana and Wayne's Grab Bag Potpourri Talk Show, Friday nights at 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern, right here on Spreaker.com. Have a nice trip. See you next fall. Attending their daughter's wedding in South Africa promised to be a vacation of a lifetime. But first, they had to face the treacherous gauntlet known as modern-day travel. Waiting for them on the other side of the world are an honest-to-goodness safari with amorous lions and elephants with anger issues, a life-affirming visit to a South African school, and an anxious bride and groom standing patiently at the airport with a sign that reads, "What took you so long?" The answers lie within the pages of Please Hold Thumbs, a not-so-round trip to South Africa, a true tale of turbulence and triumph from travel mug Scott Cherney, author of Red Asphalt. Available at Amazon.com in paperback and on the Kindle.
This is Michael Vera with Late Night in the Midlands, and you're listening to the views expressed live with your host, Reverend Wayne Pierce, on the Free America Radio Network.
Listen to Crash Talk with your host, Christopher John Taylor, on HTLA973.com.
Misfit is a misfit.
Samo.
Ignorant of hygiene, destructive, disorderly, and totally disrespectful.
It's the 515 with Samo on Samo Radio.
AM 1700 Daytona Beach, Holly Hill.
And Southnet 1.
Take the last train to Boston. See them moving run. He's leaving. On that midnight train to Georgia.
Sarasota's home for R&B and soul. The Razor Blade Express with Dave the Rave.
With her unique, fast-paced, witty sarcasm, Angel Clark brings you the news of the day with a creative twist. Monday through Friday, 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. Eastern, on radiofreedom.us. You can also listen to her live on the Liberty Radio Network at lrn.fm.
Lock it on to the best station on the net.
The Free America Radio Network. Are you a filmmaker and want to make your epic feature film with no money, some money, and or all the money in the world? Listen to Christopher J. Taylor as he discusses everything you need to know about filmmaking and more on Film 101 on HTLA973.com. What is reality? The foundation of reality is based on many concepts. Each person perceives reality differently. In the book, The Grid by Marie D. Jones and Larry Flaxman, they explore the hidden infrastructure of reality. Get your copy today at Barnes & Noble and Amazon.com. The Grid by Marie D. Jones and Larry Flaxman. Listen to Kicking the Capstone with Bob Brutus immediately following the views expressed live.
Putting the local back into radio.
Sharing the truth one fact at a time. This is the Free America Radio Network.
Hey, folks, how you doing? This is the Free America Radio Network. This is the Views Express live right here for the 7th of July, 2014. I am your host, Reverend Wayne S. Pierce. Thank you for tuning in. Appreciate that very much. Go to Free America Radio on Facebook or freeamericaradio.us for more information. If you want to sponsor the show, you can. Please do help us get to the next level by doing so. Go to freeamericaradio.us, go to the sponsors page, and check it out. You got any questions, email me, freeamericaradio@usa.com, freeamericaradio@usa.com. If you want to donate, you can do that too. Yes, just go down to the bottom of the page at freeamericaradio.us, donate. And if you want emergency food supply, you can do that as well on that page. Go to the top, hit the tab that says emergency food supply, and get as much food as you can right there for your family, and you're helping out Free America Radio Network. Share the truth, one fact at a time. freeamericaradio.us. How you doing, folks? How are you? Okay. I asked that on this Monday because I know that this past weekend has been a real interesting weekend with the border crisis in Marietta and in Texas. And now I get word that they're going to ship a whole bunch of them up to, Illinois, to Chicago and up in that area. And, see, it's called backdoor amnesty. And nobody in the United States wants this. Do you understand? Well, I can't say nobody. There are pro-amnesty groups that want the borders open. They don't give a crap about the United States whatsoever. These people are the same people that are promoting Atzland, where the Mexicans will come and take the Southwest away from the Americans. Hey, President Nieto in Mexico, how about doing your history there, dude? General Santa Anna got his ass kicked by us when he tried doing that, and guess what? We'll do it again. Guaranteed. A lot of people don't like the fact that I talk that way, but guess what? Not my problem, is it? Suck it up, cupcake. Don't get your panties in a wad. Start deciding for yourself and not let somebody else do it for you. And no, I'm not basing my opinions off of anybody else's opinion. I think for myself. Mama didn't raise no fool, and I read a hell of a lot of books by the time I was 15 years old. So I don't want to hear it anymore. You far-left, liberal, worthless pieces of crap, you Marxists, you socialists, you dictators, wannabes. Hey, you Republicans are the same way. So get your progressives out of your offices and start relying on the intelligence and the innovation of the American people and of we the people, because we know what you need to do and you need to do what we tell you to do. Period. You work for us. Hey, if we're paying taxes every year to put in your pocket, you're our employee. You work for us. Got it? Oh, wait, hold on. Let me say this and let me stand corrected because I was wrong. You don't get paid by us. You get paid by the corporations that run Washington, D.C. in the United States of America Incorporated. Go look at the Act of 1871. A little rant there, just a little frustrated. Go to Free America Radio on Facebook. If you would, please, thank you. From America's freedomfighters.com. Breaking feds to bring in riot squad against illegal immigration protesters. Oh, let me say that again. Breaking feds to bring in riot squad against illegal immigration protesters. Houston, Texas. This is from America's freedomfighters.com, Houston, Texas. As illegal immigrants continue to spill across the U.S.-Mexico border, federal authorities are attempting to relocate the migrants from South Texas to housing facilities in states across the nation. One such facility is located in Murrieta, California, where a large group of protesters recently blocked a bus full of migrants from arriving. The protesters remained there, adamant that illegal immigrants don't get dumped in their town. But soon, the concerned citizens may be forced to step down. Breitbart, Texas, has learned that federal agents plan to arrive in Murrieta on Monday with riot gear to ensure that another busload makes it to the housing facility. That right there, folks, is a complete and utter declaration of war from Washington, D.C. to the American people. That is also a backdoor amnesty. Open the border, let them in, later on going, hey, they're here, we might as well take care of them, huh? You see? I'm not even going to read the rest of this, because you can go check it out yourself. It's on. The link is on Free America Radio on Facebook. It's amazing, folks. Federal response to illegal immigration, abiding and abetting forced invasion. Period. Okay? Yeah, I'm pissed. You bet I'm pissed. And I'm going to say this, and I'm going to say it for a very long time. We don't live in the United States of America anymore, folks. If it was, you and I and hundreds of thousands of other people would be in the streets or down at the borders stopping this bull crap from happening. They want a civil war. Washington, D.C. wants a civil war. Why? So they can implement martial law, suspend the Constitution, and all of us are going to be on our own, and they can just come, sweeping through every city and picking everybody up or killing you. That's what they want. They want us, the patriots, to fire the first shot. Well, some of us will, some of us won't. Most of us won't. Because we know their game plan. We've seen it before. Hello, can you go look at the Roman Empire? Can you go look at what happened with Germany, Russia, and the United States in World War II? Hello. Can you pay freaking attention to what's going on? Folks, I'm not against immigration. Frankly, I don't think our great-great-grandparents would be here if somebody back then was against immigration. They came here legally, doing the right thing, so, I'm not against immigration. I'm against illegal immigration. You want to come here and be an American citizen, you do it the right way. Go to the consulate, to the embassy, to the immigration office, and you tell them that's what you want. Well, it takes too long. They want... No. Guatemala and South America and parts of South America and parts of Mexico are falling apart because of the drug cartels and because corrupt systems are in place in those areas. That is why they want to come over here to the land of the, free and all of that. Well, we're not free. They're walking right back into another mess that our politicians created. Yes, our politicians, all 535 of them. I don't give a crap if you're a Ted Cruz supporter, a Rand Paul supporter, Rick Perry supporter. It doesn't matter. They're all criminals. If they're not willing, or actually, no, not even that. If they're not able to call out the National Guards in their respective states and do something to protect the people from this tyrannical government, they're worthless in my eyes. And that includes the one here. Brian Sandoval, the governor of Nevada. I mean, that's the bottom line. If you're not willing to step up to the face of the bully and beat him down, then you have no balls and you should not be in America. That's just the way it is. Well, that's what you say, but I disagree. Well, go ahead, disagree with me all you want. You know I'm right. You wouldn't be disagreeing with me so vehemently. It's Monday the 7th of July, 2014. It's me ranting like a madman. Everything is not about religion, by the way, folks, with the Supreme Court's decision in favor of Hobby Lobby. It's not about religious, indoctrination or anything of that nature. Do you know why? Here's women, hello, women and guys, because guys do, have, a stake in this as well. It's not about you, okay? It's not about religion. It's not about that. You know why? Because you're free to pick up and quit your job and go elsewhere, aren't you? Oh my God, he's talking down to me like I'm stupid. Well, if the shoe fits. It's not about religion, folks. It's not about religion. It's not about a woman's right. It's not. No, you have a right to quit that job where you work, and if they're not covering, this, or if you're against this, or whatever it is, and you have a right to go out and find a new job. Don't make me pay for something that, number one, I'm not going to, and number two, my company cannot afford. Period. Bottom line. ConservativeTribune.com. Court slaps down angry atheists who say Ground Zero Cross is offensive. Angry atheists offended by the Ground Zero Cross have been slapped down by courts demanding the group explain how being offended violates the Constitution. ConservativeTribune.com. Religious freedom is something that has been under heavy attack in America in recent years, and it seems that hostilities from liberals and atheists only continue to grow. Progressives are doing everything in their power to remove religion from the public square, as much of Christianity is based on strong morals and individuality, which goes against the collectivist utopian society they're attempting to transform America into. One of the recent targets of atheist groups is the Ground Zero Cross, a memorial to those who lost their lives during 9/11 terror attacks that our country perpetrated by, our country did it. It's an inside job. The cross is composed of two beams from the World Trade Center, which was discovered in the midst of the rubble after the towers fell. Angry atheists stated the cross was offensive and pleaded their case to the federal court to have the memorial removed. Much to the dismay of the offended party, the courts have ruled that the atheists must provide better reasoning as to how being personally offended by the cross is a violation of their constitutional rights. Now, you can read the information from the ACLJ, the American Center for Law and Justice, right there in the article. And it says the 9/11 cross is not a quote-unquote religious symbol. It's a memorial erected to honor the memory of the loved ones lost during this horrific time in American history. Its presence doesn't force anyone to adopt Christianity. These individuals hate religious expression and want to force their views on others, the same thing they accuse religious folks of doing. Hopefully, the court will stand firm on this ruling and continue to shut these atheists down. And that's true. Okay? I've confronted atheists before. To my surprise, I never knew they knew the Bible that well, but I've shut their intellectual arguments down every which way I could. I shut them down as much as I possibly could. And the ones that I didn't, I just went, hey, have a nice day. Want to go out for coffee? Atheists need to understand, and even Christians, oh yes, You cannot push your beliefs on anybody to make them change to your way of thinking. It's not gonna work. I just heard about a month ago there was an atheist church. They don't believe in any of that. They got a church? I didn't know that. I don't have any details on that, but that's what I heard. So anyway, Paranormal Phil has commented here. He said he wants to go down to Marietta, but it's a 4-hour bus ride. And and he says he had to tune back in to let me know that the buses went to San Isidro instead of Marietta today. Yeah. They're going to find some, and people need, excuse me, people need to step up and just stop all this crazy bullcrap. And I know how. Want to hear it? Cool. Grab about 100 of your, I say 100, however many friends you have. If you're in a group like We Are Change or things like that, take all your friends to the governor's office, to the Capitol building, to the governor's mansion, to the sheriff's office. The sheriff is, if he's constitutional, is the ultimate law enforcement in that county. He is above the police. He's the ultimate law enforcement official in that in that county. Excuse me. And by the way, the federal government has no say what you do, Mr. Sheriff, in your jurisdiction. Go look it up. The feds have nothing to say when it comes to your county, city, state, or whatever, because they are out of their jurisdiction. Okay? Do you see the battle waging here? Do you see the massive war that is going to take place on the border because jackasses think the way that liberals do, that we can just open the border and let everybody... No, you dumbass. Close the damn border. I've been called racist and many other things, and guess what? I've proven everybody wrong. So don't even think that I'm what you think I am, because I will prove you wrong every step of the way. I like a good battle. If it's challenging enough and the other person gives a, if there's reasonable and rational give and take, I'll have a debate with you. But if all you want to do is accuse me, then don't waste my time. You give me a freaking migraine. Think of it this way, folks. Think of it this way. You have somebody come walking into your house and just saying, you're going to do this and you're going to do that, and my friend here is going to make sure you do it, and if you don't do it, then my friend here is going to have you arrested and hauled away, because this is what I want, and that's the way it is. That's what's happening on the border with these protesters. I mean, the judge in Texas, said it, The judge in Texas said he doesn't want civil disobedience. Okay? He's going to arrest anybody who is, I mean, seriously. He's going to violate somebody's First Amendment protection by having them arrested because they're protected under the First Amendment. They're doing something. Yeah, that's doesn't make any sense. Do you see where I'm going with that? It's not about who's right or wrong. It's not even about who's left and right. who's Democrat or Republican, who's conservative or liberal. No. It's not about that, folks. It's about the issue of freedom and liberty. And yes, it is an us against them scenario. It has become that because, look at this, the federal government wants it that way. They're going to push our direction, and when we fire the first shot, then they're going to clamp down with martial law, suspend the Constitution, and we have no rights whatsoever. Then it's every man for himself. From TPNN.com. Headline, there's a video here. Mexican army crossing the border and firing on Americans. This came out the 23rd of June, 2014, just last month. Mexican soldiers are crossing the border into America and firing on United States citizens. Tucson-based KVOA reported on this alarming trend earlier this year. Not only are these Mexican army soldiers firing on American citizens, they are also challenging federal agents and Border Patrol. You might want to go check out that article too, folks. Riot gear-clad feds to support illegal aliens against U.S. citizens. Right there, misguidedchildren.com. Check that out. Okay? And here is the biggie. Here is the biggie, folks. La Raza thugs just arrived in Marietta. This is what Eric Odom said. This is Eric Odom's photo. Okay? He's a public figure. And he said, La Raza thugs just arrived in Marietta, told me they were here to protect the children. Okay. La Raza, the race. They're a government-infiltrated, government-supported, government-run organization, much like the neo-Nazi skinheads, much like the new Black Panthers, much like all of these hate groups that are on the Southern Poverty Law Center list of hate groups. What kind of crap do you want to put up with, folks? Well, let me put it to you this way. How much crap do you want to get hit with before you realize you're getting hit with crap and you want to do something about it? From GodfatherPolitics.com, amnesty groups burn, tear, impale, and drag U.S. flag on the 4th. My little caption there says, militants on the left want open borders. Here's the proof. If you're on the fence and call yourself a liberal, noting that not all liberals are fascists, and want open borders, I will make one suggestion to you right now. Shut your damn cake holes and move to Mexico if you like it so much. In a clear demonstration of what's really at stake in the current border crisis whipped up by President Obama's open border policies, members of the La Raza and other pro-amnesty activists confronted legal Marietta, California residents on the 4th of July as they attempted to stop a second effort by federal agents to dump busloads of illegal aliens in their town. The pro-amnesty groups demonstrated nothing so clearly as the fate of America if groups like La Raza, the racist sedition Marxist group that wants to kill white people and take back the Western U.S., have their way. Amnesty supporters burned a U.S. flag and tore and impaled flags on fences during their protest. Anti-illegal immigration activist Bonnie Lewis told Breitbart News that she confronted one of the amnesty demonstrators as he dragged a flag on the ground, and he said, quote, "That's where it belongs," unquote. Let me personally tell every member of La Raza and every member of pro-amnesty groups like that, kiss my American patriotic ass. You even drag the flag across the ground in front of me. I'll make sure you understand just what American exceptionalism is all about. Got it? No, I'm not mad. Get the hell out of my country!
And will, to the best of my ability,
preserve, protect, and defend.
Preserve, protect, and defend.
The Constitution of the United States.
The Constitution of the United States.
So help you God.
So help me God.
Ah, damn politicians. My mother always told me this country would be screwed if the liberals had their way. The only sanity I get is when I listen to Jeff Wagner on the Conservative Voice, only on the Conservative Radio Network.
This is Reverend Wayne S. Pierce, and I want to tell you of a DVD that I have watched. It's a very interesting one. It's a film by Alex Jones. It's called Endgame, Blueprint for Global Enslavement. For the New World Order, a world government is just a beginning. Once in place, they can engage their plan to exterminate 80% of the world's population while enabling the quote-unquote elites to live forever with the aid of advanced technology. For the first time, crusading filmmaker Alex Jones reveals their secret plan for humanity's extermination. Operation Endgame. That's Endgame by Alex Jones. Get it at Infowars.com or PrisonPlanet.com. Hey folks, this is the Views Expressed live right here. Thank you for listening. I get really upset, you know that? So I want to make this statement right here. If I've offended anybody, I apologize. If I pissed people off, I hope I make you think. I make no apologies for that. If people are in total vehemently disagree with me, if people vehemently disagree with me wholeheartedly, great. I want to hear from you. freeamericaradio@usa.com. And put disagreement in the subject line. That way I know you were listening to the show. freeamericaradio@usa.com. I find it incredibly odd that people would not even stand up for what is right unless it fits their little cookie-cutter world. I find it odd that people don't stick up for somebody else's rights. I find it odd that we have a great deal of prejudice in this country. I find it odd that we have a great deal of racism in this country. I find it odd that we can't, no matter what color we are, what religious affiliation or political affiliation we have, that I find it odd that we cannot come together and find the best solutions to rebuild and restore our republic. I find it odd because I don't know too many people who are willing to do that, regardless of politics, religion, or color. I do see hope, and not the hope that President Obama talked about in 2008. I see a great deal of hope for America. I see a great future after the restoration of this country. But it's not going to work without you. It's not going to work without putting your lives, your fortunes on the line and do what you have to make it work. Now, it's a good question was raised over the weekend that I heard, and that was, why does it cost us to have health care? Well, the only thing that not the only thing, several things I can say to answer that, and that is, number one, hospitals have to pay the light bill. And number two, which is one of the corporate answers, is these insurance companies have to make a profit. Well, guess what? Prior to 1913, we took care of ourselves just fine, didn't we? Of course, innovation came by way of entrepreneurship, which we don't have in this country hardly ever. Innovation and the thought of creating something better or building a better mousetrap came as part of people thinking outside of the box. And since the late 1950s, people have been shoved into that box to think one certain way and one certain way only. And when you trace that back, you will see it has been both Republican and Democratic progressives in our political system. I don't want to hear it anymore. I've done my homework. You go do yours. Hey, again, if I'm wrong or overlook something, I would hope that you would share that with me. Like I said at the first segment of the show, people have told me that I get defensive when when I disagree with people. And my question is, wouldn't you, if somebody contradicted everything that you have? Think about it. Of course I get defensive. But I hope that out of the disseminating of the information that I have, the conveying of the message that I give to you, I hope that at some point you think about what it is I am talking about. I also find it odd that people cannot grasp the most simplest of all concepts. I just find that odd. I also find it odd that people don't have the ability to understand nuances, to understand the little things, or understand rhetorical questions. I find that kind of odd. Being educated as I have been throughout the years, mostly self-taught, but, a great deal of it was academic. I would have to say that Mama didn't raise no fool, and that all the books that she had me read helped me out a great deal. And my mama said, if you're going to tell somebody something, you better have something to back it up with. And I do. And I look back on history, and I look at our founding fathers, and I look at our former presidents back in the 17 and 1800s, and I can see just where, and just at that moment, give or take 8 to 12 years, where Everything went to hell in a handbasket, and we are here where we're at, July 7th, 2014. The New American, you'll find this on Free America Radio on Facebook. TheNewAmerican.com has an article, July 5th, 1787, Madison and the Case Against Compromise. Over the 3 days spanning July 2nd and July 5th, 1787, the attendees at the Constitutional Convention in Philadelphia approved a resolution that would sufficiently satisfy the demands of delegates from small states for equality of representation and those from the larger states who insist that fairness demanded representation on the basis of population. It was the compromise that saved the Union. Monday morning, July 2nd, as soon as the gavel sounded calling the convention to order, the crucial question of the motion would put forward the previous week by Oliver Ellsworth of Connecticut calling for equality of representation in the Senate was taken up by the members. The momentum didn't last long, however, as the first vote on the measure ended in a tie, 5 states in favor of the Ellsworth proposal and 5 states against it. The Georgia contingent was divided. But for the absence of 2 key representatives, however, that tally could have gone the way of the large states, that is to say, against the Ellsworth Compromise, and the fate of the meeting would have taken an entirely different tack, likely resulting in a deadlock that would have not been broken and a constitution that would have gone unwritten. William Pierce of Georgia was missing from the meeting because he headed to New York to sit in Congress and, more interesting, to fight a duel. Richard Beeman, the author of Plain, Honest Men, provides a brief sketch of Pierce's close call with death by duel. By 1787, Pierce found himself deeply in debt, and during the Constitutional Convention's temporary recess between July 27th and August 6th, one of Pierce's creditors, John Auljo or something like that, Auldjo, accused him of defaulting on a debt. Pierce, following the Southern Code of a gentleman, promptly challenged the other guy to a duel. Ironically, Auljo was Auljo or something, I don't know, was a client. This guy was a client of Alexander Hamilton's, and Hamilton, who never approved of dueling, successfully interceded to calm Pierce down enough to prevent a duel from taking place. Had he not done so, it is possible that Pierce might have been the 3rd member of Congressional Convention to be killed in a duel. Richard Dobbs Speight, delegate of North Carolina, and Alexander Hamilton himself were both killed in duels. The second missing member of the convention that prevented the representation question from failing had a less interesting story. Daniel of St. Thomas, Jennifer of Maryland, Daniel of St. Thomas, Jennifer of Maryland, was late that Monday morning when the vote was taken. Both Jennifer and Pierce were known to oppose equality of representation in the Senate. If Pierce had been present, his vote would have moved Georgia from the divided column to the nays, and if Jennifer had been a little prompter, Maryland would have been divided and moved out of the ayes, thus defeating the Ellsworth equality measure by a vote of 6-4, with one state, Maryland, divided. The impasse prevailed in reality, however, and Charles C. Pinckney moved that a committee be formed for the purpose of coming up with an acceptable compromise. His motion was seconded, and absent Governor Morris of New York rose and delivered what had been described as an elaborate and not very pertinent speech. Regardless of its relation to the question then being debated, A portion of that address does have particular application to the current state of affairs of the United States, however. Morris, not exactly a pauper himself, revealed his, quote, fears of the influence of the rich, unquote, whose, quote, schemes will be favored by the extent of the country. The people in such distant parts, unquote, will become, quote, duped of those who have more knowledge and intercourse, unquote. It is 227 years later, and liberty in this country is still threatened by the immeasurable influence of an oligarchy composed of wealthy power brokers inside and outside of government. Before taking a vote on the Pinckney proposal, Elbridge Gerry of Massachusetts said in support, quote, something must be done or we shall disappoint not only America but the whole world. We must make concessions on both sides. Without these, the constitutions of the several states would never have been formed. Right? Follow me so far? Remarkably, the opposition to the naming of the committee was spearheaded by two leading lights of the convention and American history, James Madison of Virginia and James Wilson of Pennsylvania. Wilson objected to the committee because it would decide according to the very rule of equality of representation which he opposed. According to Madison's record of convention, Wilson said, quote, experience in Congress had also proved the inutility of committees consisting of members of each state, unquote. For his part, Madison said he, quote, had rarely seen any other effect than delay from such committees in Congress. Any scheme of compromise that could be proposed in the committee might as easily be proposed in the House, and the report of the committee, when it contained merely the opinion of the committee, would neither shorten the discussion nor influence the decision of the House, unquote. On the question of selecting a member from each state to serve on the committee, the states voted 11-1 in favor. The following delegates were elected to the committee: Elbridge Gerry, Benjamin Franklin, George Mason, William Davey, and John Rutledge from the large states. And Oliver Ellsworth, Robert Yates, William Patterson, Luther Martin, and Gunning of Bedford, Jr., William Baldwin from Georgia. And would also serve, he voted in favor of the Ellsworth compromise proposal when that vote was taken earlier in the day. After a break to celebrate the anniversary of the Declaration of Independence on July 5th, Gerry delivered the report of the committee. It is not surprising that the compromise offered by the committee was crafted by the able diplomat Benjamin Franklin. Franklin recommended three positions. First, in the House of Representatives, the first branch, there should be one representative for every 40,000 inhabitants. Second, the House be given exclusive authority to originate appropriations bills. And third, in the Senate, each state should have an equal number of representatives. Not surprisingly, Madison and Mason and Morris opposed the committee's recommendation. The speech delivered by Madison on July 5, 1787, arguing against this compromise for the sake of Union, deserves special scrutiny on the 227th anniversary of its delivery, but of the suggestion that states should accede to the compromise for the sake of Union. Madison said that he, quote, conceived that the convention was reduced to the alternative of either departing from justice in order to conciliate the smaller states and the minority of the people of the U.S., or of displeasing these by justly gratifying the larger states and the majority of the people, unquote. He declared that he could not himself hesitate as to the option he ought to make. quote, the convention with justice and the majority of the people on their side have nothing to fear. With injustice and the minority on their side, they have everything to fear. It is in vain to purchase concord in the convention of terms which would perpetuate discord among their constituents, unquote. How timely. Today, as the federal government acts every day with injustice and the minority on its side, it is vain for states to sell their birthright of personal and political liberty for a mess of bipartisan pottage. In the spirit of Madison's address on July 5th, state legislatures should determine to nullify every unconstitutional act of the federal authority protecting their citizens from the perpetual discord that comes from enforcing the unlawful edicts of Congress, the courts, and the president. Basically, eliminate all executive orders by this president. Abolish all rules from the courts and give the states back to the people. That would be the optimum. Oh, and by the way, I believe in term limits. I believe in term limits. We should have those. You can't get nothing done. That is why we shouldn't have political parties. At all. Ever. That's it. Well, what's going to get done? Go look up the history of political parties in the United States and Congress. Go look it up. Examine why, in the first place, we need them. In the second place, why they continued. And if you can't connect the dots or follow the money, I don't know. The point is, we don't need parties bickering about certain things and then going to Congress as if running to mom to tell on your brother that they're not doing what you want them to do. Or, on the other side of that coin, going to Congress and trying to get an appropriations bill in your state to funnel money, for kickbacks, for earmarks for your state. To me, that's totally corrupt. The only reason why earmarks are there is to help your state out. Go look up earmarks, what they mean. But the politicians that push for those are actually paying off the lobbyists and the special interest groups. They're spreading the wealth. Okay, you know what I mean? So, whoops, dropped my phone. It's entirely possible to run a country without political parties. Well, who's going to be president? Blah, 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 blah. Term limits. I believe that it should be 6 years for all congressmen, House of Representatives, and the Senate, and 6 years for the president and vice president. Period. You want to run for re-election, you better wait 4 years, then you can run in a midterm election. Don't run in a primary, run in the midterm. If they don't like you then, they ain't voting for you in the general. You know what I'm saying? So, but that's too easy. That's way too easy, isn't it? It's way too logical. It's way too reasonable. No one would ever go for that because either party, both parties, members of both parties, the heads of both parties want control over you, over the presidency, over Congress, over they want to wipe out each other and take over. That's what they want to do. Because look how much we have shoved, I'm saying nonpartisan people and people who are aware and awake, we have shoved the information in the Democrats' face. They have pushed back, and they have lied every step of the way as to what they are doing because they got their hand caught in a cookie jar, and we found out about it, and now we want them out. But the Republicans are the same way. They're applauding that we found out that the Democrats had their hands in the cookie jar, and they're applauding us. And then we turn around and go, wait. What skeleton do you have in your closet? Well, let's take a look. They're like, no. And we expose them for who they are. And the Democrats are going, yay! And then we're going, shut up, because you're guilty too. Do you understand how all this works? It's about money, it's about power, it's about connecting the dots. It's about doing your research to find out just how screwed you've been and how screwed you're going to be. I don't know how much clearer I can make it for you folks. I want to get out of here a little bit earlier because I have some things to take care of. And it's going to take me a little bit to take care of those things. But I want people to understand that there is a push for what is right. Oh, yes. And the Democrats think in their own little limited, finite, little diluted minds that they're doing what's right. Oh, and guess what? The Republicans are doing the same thing. We do not need parties, period. If you and your friend were arguing, who do you think's going to be right? Well, same thing with the Democrats and Republicans. Who's going to kick somebody's ass down to the ground and say, I'm right and that's just the way it is? Well, no. You're both wrong. What about humanity? Get rid of the politics. What about humanity? What about freedom? What about security? What about peace? Are we boiling frogs in a pot? Are we going to figure out that, oh, it's getting a little hot? Or are we going to do everything we can to stop the insanity in Washington, D.C., and make those people up there listen to the American people? Oh, by the way, you don't think they listen? Oh, they listen. They hear everything we're saying. And I can pretty much guarantee you this, although you may have to go out and look it up yourself, they understand that we're pissed. And we're going to take back this country by any means necessary. And if that means recruiting all the constitutional sheriffs like the, what is it, the CSPOA? If we have to do that and create our own army and go against our federal government, Washington, D.C., to take back this country, we're going to do that. They want a civil war. They're the ones that are going to have to fire the shot, because as far as I'm concerned, I'm not. But I will defend myself by any means necessary. Folks, I'm going to get out of here. I'll go away. Come join me tomorrow. 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern, right here on the Free America Radio Network. I got more to say. If I'm wrong or if I've overlooked something, email me, freeamericaradio@usa.com, freeamericaradio@usa.com. Please do, because I want to hear from you. I want to hear what's on your mind as well. freeamericaradio@usa.com, freeamericaradio@usa.com. You can go to freeamericaradio.us for more information. But I want you to remember something today on this Monday, the 7th of July, 2014. Please remember this. Please, just remember this. We the people have the power, for we are America.